If you've heard of Nat King Cole, then we'll tell you something you didn't know. If you haven't heard of him, the Old Fashion Masonic Podcast will tell you why you should know who he is in our own special way. There'll be stories of Masonry, racism, and politics. Sounds like a Catholic newsletter. Give us 5 minutes to break it down. If you're not already a subscriber, smash that subscribe button now. Nathaniel Adams Cole, known professionally by his stage name Nat King Cole, was an American singer, jazz pianist, and actor. Cole's career as a jazz and pop vocalist started in the late 1930s and spanned almost 3 decades, where he found success and recorded over 100 songs that became hits on the pop charts. The most famous is Unforgettable. No, that is the name of the song. Nathaniel Adams Cole was born in Montgomery, Alabama in 1919. He was one of 4 brothers. Music ran deep in the family, with each of the Coles brothers pursuing musical careers. At the age of 4, the family relocated to Chicago, where Nathaniel's father took on the role of a Baptist minister. Under the guidance of his mother, Nat learned to play the organ. Hold all of the junior high jokes, please. Growing up in Chicago, Nat attended Wendell Phillips Academy High School, the same institution later attended by the renowned Sam Cooke. Nat would often sneak out to local clubs, eagerly soaking in the sounds of jazz legends like Louis Armstrong, Earl Hines, and Jimmy Noon. At the age of 15, Cole made the decision to leave high school and dedicate himself fully to a music career. In 1936, under the banner his brother's group, the Swingsters, they recorded 2 singles for Decca and performed in a revival of the musical Shuffle Along. Nat Cole's involvement in the production led him on tour with the musical. During this time, he found love and married Nadine Robinson, a fellow cast member, in 1937. Nat Cole's journey continued as he led a big band and secured gigs playing piano in nightclubs. Upon a club owner's suggestion, he formed a band, enlisting the talents of bassist Wesley Prince and guitarist Oscar Moore. Taking inspiration from the nursery rhyme, they dubbed themselves the King Cole Swingsters initially, later changing their name to the King Cole Trio before embarking on radio transcriptions and recording sessions for various small labels. Hold on, it gets a little more lively here. Freemasonry and racism is just around the corner. Brother Nat King Cole was a member of Thomas Waller Lodge No. 49, Prince Hall in Los Angeles. He joined in 1938. The lodge was founded by a group of African-American musicians who were members of Musicians Local 767, and Cole joined with his friend and drummer Lee Young. Nat King Cole remained faithful to Masonic principles his whole life. He saw himself as a builder of musical architecture, but he built more than music. Cole later became a Scottish Rite Mason. His music helped to bring people in different races together. We'd argue it still does today. Outside of his musical pursuits, Cole displayed a passion for baseball, particularly admiring Hank Aaron and how he handled racism. Nat had some battles himself. In August of 1948, Cole bought a home from Colonel Harry Gantz in the predominantly white neighborhood of Hancock Park, Los Angeles. Soon after, a burning cross appeared on his front lawn, and the Property Owners Association made it clear they didn't want any undesirables moving in. Cole's response was firm: "Neither do I. And if I see anyone undesirable coming in here, I'll be the first to complain." Sadly, his dog died after ingesting poisoned meat, likely a consequence of his relocation to the neighborhood. Cole was attacked by white supremacists during an integrated performance in Alabama. African Americans, on the other hand, rebuked him for his unsupportive comments about racial integration he made after the show. Cole claimed that he was an entertainer, not an activist. Remember our previous episode on George Wallace, the former governor of Alabama? I don't think we are shocked about anything like that which happened in that state. Although local law enforcement intervened during the assault, Cole was injured, and weapons were later found outside the venue. 6 men were charged, but most faced reduced charges. Despite criticism from the NAACP and black press for his previous performances for segregated audiences, Cole eventually joined the civil rights movement, boycotting segregated venues and becoming involved in activism until his death in 1965. If you listened correctly, the whites didn't like him, and the African-American community didn't think he was doing enough. A slippery slope, we might say. In 1956, Cole was slated to perform in Cuba. Despite his desire to stay at the Hotel Nacional de Cuba in Havana, he was turned away due to its discriminatory practices. Nonetheless, he fulfilled his contract, and his concert at the Tropicana Club was a resounding success. The following year, he returned to Cuba for another performance, delighting the audience by singing many songs in Spanish. Later that year, Cole performed for President Dwight D. Eisenhower's televised birthday celebration. Remember, good old Ike was a Freemason too. At the 1956 Republican National Convention, he sang "That's All There Is to That" and was greeted with applause. Cole was also present at the Democratic National Convention in 1960 to support Senator John F. Kennedy. Cole was among the dozens of entertainers recruited by Frank Sinatra to perform at the Kennedy Inaugural Gala in 1961. Cole consulted with Kennedy and his successor Lyndon B. Johnson on civil rights. Nat King Cole, the renowned musician, faced health issues in September 1964, leading to a diagnosis of lung cancer, attributed partly to his heavy smoking. Despite the grim prognosis, he continued working and recorded his final album, LOVE. Cole underwent cobalt therapy, but his condition deteriorated. He received support from his wife and reconciled with her during his illness. Despite public optimism promoted by his publicists, Cole's health declined, leading to a lung surgery in January 1965. Sadly, he passed away at age 45. His funeral was attended by numerous celebrities, and he was remembered for his talent and generosity. Cole was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Old Fashion Masonic Podcast. Don't forget and leave us a comment and tell us what you think. Even if we suck and you hate what we are doing,